I would say the same thing about the Bengals, too.
But I think the Bengals are coming off. Listen, take it with a grain of salt because they beat the Steelers.
Yep, and also this is Lou talking.
Well, no. I'm actually prepared about this stuff now.
Take into account the fact, before he even opens his mouth, the fact that it's Lou talking.
All right, but I'm smart, I think. I know what I'm talking about a little bit.
Sure.
You don't need to listen. You don't need to watch a game that hasn't happened yet.
Listen, you can know. You can think.
I think I know things. The problem I think with the Chargers is that they've lost games that I've looked at and gone, they should win. So I'm not sure if they're there.
But the Bengals are the same way.
Right, but I think you should have higher expectations for the Chargers than the Bengals. The Chargers are a much more talented team on paper than the Bengals.
Yeah.
I think Justin Herbert is the better of the two quarterbacks, and that guy they were drafted the same year.
Justin Herbert is an absolute stud.
That offense should be really good. You have Keenan Allen and Mike Williams as a solid top two wide receivers. You have Austin Eckler being a receiving threat and a legitimate running threat from the backfield. Jared Cook, I think, is their tight end. I think he's having a pretty good year.
We think so.
We think he's their tight end. I'm pretty sure Jared Cook is the Chargers' tight end.
Okay.
And then their defense, it shouldn't be terrible, but it doesn't play well. But, I mean, they lost to the Broncos. They didn't even make it close.
They lost to the Broncos. However, the Cowboys lost to the Broncos.
I just said that the Broncos are one of the top teams in the hunt to make the playoffs. So the Broncos have played relatively well.
You're right.
But I still don't believe in them. And I think
the
Chargers
I absolutely don't believe in them.
I'm not even joking. I think the Chargers should look at the Broncos and go, we're better than this team. Not defensively, but we're just a better team than them. We should be able to beat the Broncos. They shouldn't lose to them 28-13.
Yeah.
And then you look at the Bengals, and the Bengals are just kind of schizophrenic because through the first few weeks of the season, especially like weeks 3, 4, and 5, the Bengals looked like they were like a legitimate threat, like a sneaky,
potentially number one in the AFC.
A sneaky contender in the AFC. And then they did this weird thing where they decided to lose games. And it all started with they beat the Ravens 41-17. And then the Jets lost Zach Wilson. And the Bengals lost to Mike White and the Jets.
Who has, by the way, never played a football game before.
Had never played a football game, and then Mike White came out and beat them, and then Mike White obviously became the best quarterback in New York for a little bit there.
Of course.
But then the Bengals went out and proved it wasn't a fluke by losing to the Browns 41-16 the following week.
In fact, we are not as good as we see.
But now, their last two games have been good because they beat the Raiders 32-13, and the Raiders are a good football team.
The Raiders are a decent football team.
And the Bengals defense, which has been like sneakily good because they held the Ravens to 17 and then the Raiders to 13, and the Raiders have a sneaky good offense. Yep. Like Derek Carr's having like a sneaky top 5 QB.
No, he
season.
is. He's having
a
really
sneaky good year. And then they went out and absolutely crushed the Steelers. They were up like 31-3. At the end of the first half. I remember I was doing highlights for FUV.
Damn.
And I kept looking at the game, and Joe Mixon had like an insane day, ran all over them.
So basically what we have is a contest between two teams that could either be really good or really bad.
Well, when you put it like that.
And we will have to wait.
We have to wait and see what happens.
Which team, if any, decides to be really good or really bad. So this could either be a really good game because both teams are really good, or both teams are really bad.
Here are the 3 ways this game goes down.
Yes.
In my eyes. Both teams either play really well.
Yeah.
And it's like a 41-40 victory for someone.
Yeah.
Probably the Chargers.
Which is what
it's like an offensive shootout, which is what I would love to see. One of these teams comes out absolutely flat and it's a blowout. It's like a Bengals 41-10 win. Or both teams come out flat. It's a close game, and the final score is like 13-10.
Yeah. So basically,
I'm not trying to joke.
One of the 3 only possible outcomes is what's going to happen.
Are those really the only 3 ways a game can go down?
How else would it be able to go down?
See, I didn't even think that far ahead. I just think that it's an apt comparison because both these teams are so streaky. How else would a game go down?
You're right, but those are the 3 only possible options.
Okay, so what's going to happen is either the Bengals will win, the Chargers will win, or there'll be a tie. Those are the three ways this game could go down. When you really boil it down, just some top-notch analysis.
Could not go down any
could
other
not
way.
go down any other way. But it would be interesting to see if can the Chargers shut down Joe Mixon, because for a 41-10 win, Joe Burrow really didn't do that much.
Oh,
he went 20 of 24, which is a
Joe
great.
Mixon did have 34 points on my fantasy team.
Tying back to fantasy football, of course.
Yeah. So I know he played.
Joe Burrow completed 20 of 24 passes, which looks good. Only threw for 190 yards, 1 touchdown, and 1 interception.
Yeah.
Those are not the stats of a quarterback for a team that beat another team 41-10. Joe Mixon is kind of the Bengals offense. Like, they have their receivers are really good. Jamar Chase is good. T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd, a really good top 3 wide receiver group. But at their best, it's Joe Mixon running the football. If they can run through Joe Mixon, that seems like what they want to do. They're content to not throw the football.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, as long as that game plan works, I would say stick to it 100%.
Well, I mean, thank you for that analysis. The question for me was more, do you have any faith?
Yeah, you're welcome.
Do you have faith?
You're welcome.
Do you have faith in the Chargers defense to stop them, to stop the run game? Because their run defense has not been good. Thank you, actually.
There's only one way to know.
Do you have any predictions, though, maybe? Because...
my prediction is that one of the two teams will win the game. I do not think it will be a tie.
The Bengals could jump into the division lead. And if the Chargers lose, you're talking about an uphill climb to get back in the wild card. Because I'm going to be honest, I was surprised to see the Chargers were even in the wild card. Because I thought they was
surprised too when you just said that.
Right?
Because clearly I know a lot about what's going on right now.
Well, no, I think it is realistic. It is completely realistic to know a lot about football and not be completely sure about the way the playoffs are shaping up. Because outside of the division leaders, you have a lot of teams in the mix, and you don't tiebreakers work a funny way. Like, you have 3, 6, and 5 teams. You have no idea which one's going to be the third wildcard spot. So exactly. I was surprised. I mean, I do think the Chargers are the best of that 3, but I was surprised to see them there because I thought
they have the potential to be the best.
No, I think the Chargers are straight up the best of the 3.
I would.
Well, I won't.
I won't disagree
knock down the Raiders.
I would say the Raiders.
The Raiders could be the best.
Could be the best.
The Raiders have played more consistent football. Here's the take. The analysis I'll dish out for these two teams.
Here it comes.
Here it comes.
Be prepared, folks.
The Chargers, at their best, are the best better of the 3. But the Raiders play more consistently good football, not great football, but the Raiders are more consistent at playing good football than the Chargers are.
So basically is what you're saying.
But I think that the streakiness could kill the Chargers because if they're streaky down the line, and they've been streaky, they've been in kind of a rough spot right now.
Yeah. As
long as the Raiders just kind of tread water here and, continue to beat teams like the Cowboys, they play like that. And I didn't think they played a great game against the Cowboys, but they did what they had. They played a pretty good game.
They played enough to beat a team that sucks.
Exactly.
Which is what the Cowboys are.
I wouldn't be surprised. Who do you have to win this game is my question. If you had to pick one. Chargers
I would say the Bengals. I have the
See, I'm riding with the Bengals as well, and this hurts me as a guy that I like rooting for the Chargers. I love their colors.
Like the Chargers. I am a fan of the Chargers.
They have really strong colors.
They are just a little bit more inconsistent than the Bengals.
I like Justin Herbert. I'm a big Justin Herbert fan.
Yeah. You've mentioned before.
I have. All right. Well,